English idioms, kata kerja dan kata benda back. Bahasa Inggris untuk orang dewasa. On one's back, tiduran, rebahan. Lilis was on her back in her bedroom, waiting for Iro, a message, who was on the way. Lilis sedang rebahan di kamar tidurnya, menunggu Iro, tukang pijat yang sedang dalam perjalanan. In the meantime, Samsul, her husband, was on his back too, but in the sofa while watching TV. Pada waktu yang sama, Samsul, suaminya, sedang rebahan juga, namun di sofa sambil menonton televisi. Lilis was on her back wearing nothing underneath, meanwhile Samsul was wearing a sarong. Lilis berbaring dengan hanya memakai pakaian luar, sementara Samsul memakai sarung. Behind one's back, tanpa sepengetahuan. In all conscience, when at home, Samsul was time and time again massaged by Iro behind Lilis's back. Sebenarnya, apabila di rumah, Samsul sudah seringkali dipijat oleh Iro tanpa sepengetahuan Lilis. Meanwhile, on working days, behind Samsul's back, Lilis courted with her boss, who was an old billy goat but in the chips. Sementara pada hari-hari kerja, tanpa sepengetahuan Samsul, Lilis pacaran dengan atasannya yang merupakan seorang bando tua namun kaya. Iro, the masses, behind Samsul's and Lilis's backs, had arrived and slowly opened the door gate. Iro, tanpa sepengetahuan Samsul dan Lilis, sudah tiba dan dengan perlahan membuka pintu gerbang. To back out, mungkir. How come Iro hasn't come here yet? Has she possibly backed out? Yelled Lilis from her room. Kok Iro belum datang juga ya? Apa dia mungkir? Teriak Lilis dari kamarnya. Iro won't back out, said Samsul calmly. You'll have to bear with me waiting for her. Iro gak akan mungkir, kata Samsul dengan tenang. Kamu harus ikut sabar denganku, nungguin dia. Not long afterward, there was a knock on the door, and Samsul, prior to opening it, had been very sure that it was Iro, who would never back out of her promise. Tidak lama kemudian ada ketukan di pintu, dan Samsul sebelum membukanya sudah sangat yakin kalau itu Iro yang selalu menepati janji. To get one's back up membuat dia marah. Samsul bundled Iro off to Lilis' bedroom and convinced her that her delay would not get Lilis back up. Samsul menyuruh Iro cepat-cepat ke kamar Lilis dan meyakinkan dia kalau Lilis tidak akan marah meskipun Iro datangnya lama. I'm sorry, Miss Lilis. I hope I won't get your back up, said Iro to Lilis, who had been waiting in bed impatiently. Maaf Bu Lilis, saya harap ibu gak akan marah, kata Iro ke Lilis, yang sudah tidak sabar menunggu Iro. Lilis smiled broadly and said, Never will you get my back up. Conversely, you'll make us in the clouds and full of beans. Lilis tersenyum lebar dan berkata, gak akan pernah saya marah ke kamu. Sebaiknya kamu akan membuat kami senang dan bersemangat. To turn one's back on, menolak menolong yang membutuhkan. Iro started the ball rolling by massaging Lilis's feet first and said, I never turn my back on anybody who needs my massage. Iro mulai memijat kaki Lilis dan berkata, saya tidak pernah menolong siapa saja yang mau saya pijat. You're such a good person who never turn your back on anybody, said Lilis, who was in the bath, lying flat on her tummy. Kamu benar-benar orang baik yang gak pernah menolak membantu orang, kata Lilis yang badannya telanjang, tengkurap. Samsul burst into the room and bragged himself that he also never turned his back on anybody. Samsul mendadak masuk ke kamar dan membanggakan dirinya kalau dia sama tidak pernah menolak membantu orang. To back down, menarik ucapan. Bathing in perspiration, Iro took off her shirt, with then only wearing bra and panties, and said something that could spill Samsul's beans, but immediately she backed down. Karena bermandi keringat, Iro melepaskan kaos yang dikenakannya dengan hanya tinggal kutang dan celana dalam di badannya, dan mengatakan sesuatu yang bisa membuka rahasia Samsul, namun dengan segera mencabut ucapannya. You don't need to back down what you have said, Iro, since it's okay to me, said Lilis, who was on her back, being massaged at stomach part. Kamu gak perlu narik ucapan kamu, Iro, sebab itu gak masalah buat saya, kata Lilis yang terlentang, bagian perutnya dipijat. Samsul, whom at first wanted Iro to back down what she had said, at last felt on air, and he then got into bed for his turn to massage. Samsul yang pada mulanya ingin Iro menarik ucapannya, akhirnya merasa senang, dan kemudian naik ke tempat tidur karena sudah gilirannya dipijat. To give the back of one's hand, menampar. Lilis, who was still lying naked in bed, asked Iro, "Why did you break up with your hubby?" Iro answered that her husband often gave her the back of his hand. Lilis, yang masih rebahan telanjang di tempat tidur, bertanya kepada Iro, "Kamu kenapa cerai sama suami kamu?" Jawab Iro, "Karena suaminya sering menampar dia." "If Samsul dares give me the back of his hand, I'll leave her for good," said Lilis. "Kalau Samsul berani menempelin saya tinggalin dia selamanya," kata Lilis. "I'll never give you the back of my hand, Lilis darling," said Samsul, whom he then stole a glance at Iro and asked her to cuddle together in bed, since she had finished massaging both of them. "Saya gak akan pernah nampar kamu, Lilis sayang," kata Samsul, yang kemudian melirik ke Iro dan memintanya berbaring bersama, karena sudah selesai memijat keduanya.